Okay, so area. Area is like you have a floor or a wall, you know, and you want to figure out how much, if it's the floor, how much carpet or tile, you know, to buy. Well, tile and carpet are sold by the square foot usually. And so you have to figure out the area, and then you know how much to buy. Okay? Volume is when we have a three-dimensional figure. I'm not super great at drawing these. Like maybe a swimming pool, and we're trying to figure out the capacity or how much that swimming pool holds. So volume, area is a square unit, square units. Could be square feet. You'll see it written this way, SQFT, or sometimes you'll see it written FT with a little superscript to indicate that it's squared. So that's read square feet. Volume is a cubic measurement, so you'll see it cubic feet like that. When I went and bought dirt for my yard, that's how they have it on the package, CUFT. But you'll also see it as feet cubed, okay? Or it could be inches, or it could be miles, or something like that. So because we have different ways to measure lengths, they have to be the same when you do these calculations. So they have to be the same unit. So if they're in feet, then both your length and width have to be in feet. If they're in inches, they both have to be in inches. Okay. So a square or a rectangle, to find that area, it's length times width. So you think of the length here and the width here. You're going to multiply them together. That's going to give you a square measurement. So say you have a 5 by 10 room, you want to buy carpet, and these are feet, we'll say, then it's going to be 50 square feet. Your book uses this notation. Okay, for volume, it's going to be the length times the width times the height. And they're using uppercase letters, so I have to change that there. Okay, so say you have, you know, a 7 by 10 by 5 container, and let's say it's in inches, and you want to know how much that container will hold. Well, it'd be 35 times 10, it'd be 350 cubic inches. Okay? I was going to tell you about, maybe you've watched TV shows, like medical TV shows, and they're like, give them, you know, 30 cc's stat. A cc is a cubic centimeter. Okay, and the centimeter, that's a metric form of measurement. Now, I don't know how much metrics you'll see, but okay. And then sometimes we use this to in other formulas. So let's say we have a swimming pool that measures 5 feet across, and it's 7 feet long and 10 feet deep. Probably don't want those measurements for a swimming pool, but pretend like that's, you know, this rectangular shaped swimming pool. So we want to figure out the volume. Okay, so we figured that, and this time we're going to be in feet. And they usually tell you somewhere what your measurements are measured in. Okay, so that's going to be 350 cubic feet. But you want to know how many gallons of water you need. Well, you're going to use this formula then to take the volume that you have, 350, times 7.48, and then you could figure out the gallons that you needed to fill the swimming pool. Okay. So now we're going to do an example of when we have to convert from one unit to another. So let's say you have 13 feet inches. Say you have a wall that measures 13 feet 8 inches. Notice it's not 13.8, okay? And the other side is 12 feet 10 inches. Well, we said you have to have the units the same. So which way do you go? Do you put them in inches or do you put them in feet? Well, you might be thinking, it's easier to put it in inches. That's true. I think that's true. But you're going to get large numbers, and in the end, you're probably going to want a measurement in square feet. Okay, so we're not going to go with the inches. We're going to go with feet. Okay, so how do we do that? how do you make 8 inches into feet? Well, if you take 8 inches and then you multiply by something you know how many inches are in a foot. There are 12 inches in 1 foot. So then if you multiply, or you could do this on a calculator, you'd have 8 over 12, and that's feet. Do you see how the inches cancel out? So that's a really handy thing, I think, for trying to know how to convert something. Okay, so now we have 13 feet, and we have 8/12 of a foot. Now, you're probably not going to want to use a fraction. You're probably going to want a decimal. So you're going to take your calculator, and you're going to go 8 divided by 12. Let's see. 8 divided by 12. And, oops, 12. And I get like 0.66666, and it's repeating. So I'm going to add that to the 13. So it's going to be like 13 plus 0.666, and it goes on. But we're only going to go to 2 decimal places. So we're going to get 13, oops, I'm ahead of myself, 13.67 feet. So that's going to be what we will use for this length or width, 13.67 feet. Okay? Now, how did I do that with the rounding? I'll explain that in a minute. Okay, let's do the other one, the 12, 10. So 12 feet, 10 inches, we're going to say 12 feet plus 10 divided by 12. Same process that we did over here. And so what's 10 divided by 12? 10 divided by 12 is 8.333. 0.83333. Okay, and it goes on. So we're going to round that. It's going to be 12.83. So for this measurement here, we're going to use 12.83 feet. That's going to be in feet. Okay, now let's talk about the rounding. How do we do that? Well, if we're going to round to 2 decimal places, so you think 1 place, 2 places, you're going to look behind that. If it's 5 or more, so if it's 5 or more, you're going to round up. So you're going to add 1. So that's why we used 13.67. Now, over here, we went 1 place, 2 place. We look at the third one, this one. It's not 5 or more, so it does not round up. Sometimes people will say it rounds down, but I find that misleading. So what it means is we just don't change it. We're just going to use these, and that's why we had 12.83. Now, so that you know, we're going to round before putting it in the formula. That makes a difference when you're doing calculations, okay? So just keep that in mind. So it says find the area of a wall that measures 13 feet 8 inches by 12 feet 10 inches. So what we're going to do is we're going to take that 13, well, let's put the formula, area equals length times width. And so we're going to have 13.67, and I put parentheses in. I probably shouldn't do that. I don't know that your book would do it that way. Okay, so 13.67 times, and then what was it, 12.83. So you're going to do that calculation, and you're going to get something like 175.3861, and now that's going to be square feet. Okay, but we're not going to leave our answer that way. We're going to round to 2 decimal places. So go 1, 2 decimal places. Look at the third number. Is it going to round up? Yes. So these are approximations. They're not exact. And so this would be our answer. Okay? That was a lot of information, long video, and now you get to take the quiz.